Good morning, everyone. Robbie here from Coffee with Contractors. Hope you all having a good day. I got my cup of coffee and I got one of my friends on. Michael Craine, how are you doing this morning, buddy?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'll be better once this coffee's in me.
You got to catch up.
It's early where I'm at, and it's really early where you're at.
It's later here. I'm Central Time, luckily.
Oh, okay. So, I've been following you on social media. You do some good things. You're very knowledgeable about what you do, but what is it that you do, and who are you?
All right. I'm Michael Craine. I am out of Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. I'm the owner-operator of Craine Painting, LLC. We do interior painting and cabinet refinishing, and we've really cabinet refinishing is pretty much all we're doing lately for the last few months, and we're booked out until, I don't know, August just on cabinets. So,
Oh, congrats, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, let's jump into Wisconsin. Never been there. Heard it's a beautiful place. So
it's pretty
I'll
nice.
Head over there
I like it.
For some football games.
There you go.
So you business owner, how long have you been doing what you're doing? Painter, contractor.
So probably about 6.5 years, something like that, is when I first picked up a paintbrush.
Okay. So, had you worked for anyone prior or no?
I worked for a company. I did the retail thing for a really long time, and I was like, I didn't know what else to do, so that was really boring. It wasn't for me, the corporate structure. Yeah. So stopped doing that, and then I was like, well, what can I do? I actually took some time off, went on a mission, came back, did some things, and I was like, well, I can paint. All right. And, I sucked, but I decided to be a painter, and I worked for a contractor for pretty much a summer, something like that. Fantastic craftsman. But when the time came for that last paycheck before winter, dude just up and disappeared.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's how I got into having my own business, because I just had my last kid, and I needed to pay the bills. So
yeah,
nice. That's how I don't know how I ended up here, but it's a trip.
Well, and you have a crew now, correct?
Yep.
How many are in your crew?
I have 2 employees, Kyle and Amanda. They're both awesome people. Kyle's been with me for a long time. In many ways, he's much better at certain aspects of painting than I am. And then Amanda's been with us for about a year, but just both stellar people.
Yeah. I love what you just said. I think it's a hard pill to swallow for contractors, but you have to see the worth in your employees. And if they're better at something than you are, you need to acknowledge that. Do you feel that that's helped strengthen your, I forgot his name, Kyle. Has it strengthened him to want to be better and continue his craftsmanship?
I think it, so for Kyle, that's the type of person he is no matter what he does.
Oh, okay.
And that's awesome, but it's a good thing either way.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just the type of person he is, and that's really what we look for. Realistically, I got lucky with both of them, and they were both artists. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but
well, we're in a very much artistic world, and it's, I don't know. I always say, like, I'm a sprayer, and it's an art form. When you get in, when you get spraying, and I teach my crew that when you have that gun in your hand, you need to find your zone. And I relate it to sports. That's just what I know. I, like you, did corporate for a while. That suit and tie thing don't work well for me. Me
neither.
If I can't wear a hat, yeah, probably not gonna do the job. So, how did you get into cabinets? We've done a few episodes where we have cabinet people on, and it's such a unique niche to get into. But what have you found? Like you said, you're mainly doing cabinets. So what have you found that's made you want to gear towards that cabinetry area of just doing that?
So how did I get into cabinets? Well, so I got into painting and I didn't know what I was doing. And when I started working for myself, it became really apparent. You have the Dunning-Kruger effect of, you have your competence level is up here when you start, and then your competence is way down here. Well, I figured that out really quickly because I screwed up a couple of things that were just awful. So I always just wanted to kind of go towards the harder things after I learned the basics. But I knew that cabinets were not something that I personally wanted to take a chance on screwing up, because, you screw somebody's cabinets up and, you're going to have a big monetary problem.
Absolutely.
And that was not something that I wanted to start delving into without training. So I turned down a whole lot of cabinet jobs until I had the opportunity to take a class. Henry Mendez gave the class. He does it all over the place, and if you have a chance, definitely take one of his classes. They're well worth every penny.
Yeah.
But he gave us the basics on things. A to B, how to prep everything, how to spray, all those things. And then from there, what I did was, I tried to sell my ass off for the longest time getting that first job. The first job didn't turn out perfect. But from there, we started doing it regularly and dialing in our process. And we've tested a whole lot of things, product-wise, process-wise. I test a lot of things in my shop before I go and do anything. I'm not going to take a new product and put it on somebody's cabinets. So we just kind of went hard into it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Cabinets, we don't dab in that much anymore. I can do them. It's just, I don't have the patience to teach my crew. It's probably really sad, but I just, it's like everything you said is on point. And I wish I had a big shop. I've seen your videos. You have quite the shop, and you do
It's just a garage.
Hey, shop's a shop. We have a 2.5 car garage. I get a half, like less than half of that 2.5. But with product, people that do cabinets and industrial, they seem to switch products a lot because these companies have so many different options. What right now is your go-to, and why do you like it as far as your application? Or does it also vary on what type of what you're painting on, like what the surface is?
It all depends on it. Each situation is dependent on the type of wood that we're working with, the color that they want to go to. Do they have 4 children that are just, there's already a million dings and nicks in their existing cabinets. Are they retired? Baby boomers, whatever it is. There's a lot of different variables. My products that I've used, and I've pretty much used them specifically, are like the monocomponent polys or the precats, all waterborne. The top coats are all waterborne. So Sherwin-Williams Chem Aqua Plus, ML Campbell Agualente, General Finishes Enduro Poly. I've pretty much stayed with those. I know that everyone's gearing towards the Malesi, and that's awesome. That's totally cool. I have a feeling that everybody's going to be gearing towards the Renner coming out. So a lot of people switch things all the time, and that's cool. I found that the products that I do use, if anything does happen, nothing's changed since I started using them as for formulation, so that I can just go and we do give a 5-year warranty with 1 year of free touch-ups per year if they do need it. So if anything changes, I can just go in and touch up very easily.
Yeah. That's interesting. I do warranties on my
Yep.
exteriors. Well, I do warranty on everything. They do a year, in this we upgrade to Emerald. Then we do a 5-year labor. Has that helped your business? Do you feel since you've implemented that in? Does it give that customer that cushy feeling, I'll say?
So it does. The one thing the reason that I do it is because, look, these people are trusting me with thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
appreciate having a customer and keeping a customer or a client, whatever you want to say. So, one, what I tell them is if something happens, please just call me, and we'll take care of it. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal.
Exactly.
And so what I found from that is, one, they know they're covered if something ever does happen, and two is they're not going to call somebody else when they're like, oh, Michael, come over here real quick,
Yeah.
and since he's here, can you take a look at the bedroom, or
Yeah.
what about doing the built-ins now?
Yeah. The
So
repeat business is such a weird market that newer contractors, I'm learning, don't tap into that. It's all, what can I get new, 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 new? But when you start building in that repeat business, you've set a foundation for yourself, because when it's, like usually around August, September, we throw out a marketing campaign. And I'm really cheesy with it, but it works. And usually it's my repeaters that do it because their friends are saying, hey, Splash is doing this. But it's basically like, hey, the holidays are coming, you're having family coming in. Now's the perfect time to get that dining room done or get your cabinets painted. And immediately, usually within a week, it's these repeaters like, hey, my Aunt Sally was here. She saw these last year. She wanted to go do them. So
yep,
that's good that you're doing that, because it's that market is yours. Do you,
yep,
I know a few cabinet people do this. I've seen it in one home. Do you put a stamp on your cabinets, or have
I
you
do
heard of
not.
people that do that?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
seen people that do that, and that's totally cool.
Yeah.
I don't.
Hmm. I love pre-cap. If I could paint cabinets and that's all I had to do was pre-cap, but since I moved to Utah, I can't. I use Rut. That's my favorite. It's probably, I don't know where that is in the level of what it is,
You
but I
say
just
Rudd?
know. Yeah,
Okay, I
Rut.
haven't got. That's a it's over where you are. We don't. There's a lot of cool little factories and
Mhm.
the different brands that are
You're in the industrial part of
geographically
the
cool.
U.S. You
Well,
get a
so
lot.
there's like 4 paint manufacturers in the state that I know of, at
Yeah.
least. So it's kind of cool.
Do you work with them? Do you work with these guys because they know where these facilities are? Do you actually go into their shops and talk to them about their product if you have an issue, or do you just mainly deal with the store you get it from?
So like General Finishes, I've gone in there before and talked to them because it's 15 minutes down the road from me.
Nice.
ML Campbell is, all over the place. The rep that I deal with is super awesome, Bobby. Sherwin-Williams, unfortunately, my store here,
Uh-huh.
fantastic, but getting anybody else to, talk to is kind of like, no one really has the time for it. So,
Yeah. I think that knowing who your reps are, and you're dealing with more type of paint. I exclusively use Sherwin-Williams. If a
mhm.
customer wants Benjamin Moore, I will use it. I like Benjamin Moore. There's nothing against it. It's just, I as a person that sprays, you've got to know your product. You
Oh
got to
yeah,
know what your PSI is. I know there's guys out there and there's sprayers out there that say your PSI doesn't matter, your tips don't matter, and your filters and stuff. And I know that you're one of those guys, like, you got to be on point with it. You have to dial in everything
yeah,
you do. So
I
that
do.
does matter. Yeah, it is. It's important because these are thousands of dollars. Whether it's a $3,000 job or a $25,000 job, you have to be on point.
Absolutely.
So my favorite question to ask every contractor is this, because I think it puts people in a weird place sometimes because they don't know, but we always are doing it. But as a business owner right now, what are you working on? What is it that you see, like, whether it's the next level of what you're trying to get to, or hiring employees, or insurance? What area are you looking at? Like, what Michael Craine is doing, this is the next step that I'm trying to accomplish.
So I'm currently working on. We're scheduled out for months. who's going to be busy for months. So I'm kind of dialing my own, being in the brush back a little bit so that I can focus on the business aspects of my company. Accounting, job costing, P&Ls, things like that. Getting all my systems down 100% so that I can replicate this at some other place.
Yeah, the meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah, because you know what, I started doing this just to pay the light bill. And, it was just survival. And, it's at a certain point, it's like, oh, I'm surviving. I mean, I can put money in my gas tank and not check my bank account. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a beautiful thing. But it's like, all right, well, that goal's met. Now what do we do? So just business practices, because this was just keep moving forward. And, I don't know how I ended up where I am, but it's a cool thing. But I need to make sure that I have a good foundation.
Yeah. No, and that's important. And I'm glad you pinpointed that because it's one of my areas, this year is that's an area that I'm working on too. And it's fun and hard, but yeah, once the bills are being paid, you're doing it right. It's can you maintain it? With or without a recession that may or may not come. Everyone's going to need painting done. It's just the way it is. And it sounds to me, based on watching your videos, your knowledge is there, your understanding of the jobs are there. So, when that, if it ever does come to that, you'll still be afloat. And that's, it's hard for companies to take that breath, because they go, you probably felt, I feel this way. I don't know if you do, but when I started, I felt like I was going 100 miles an hour. I'm in my Audi. I don't have one yet, but I'm in my Audi with the top down, and I'm like, yeah, this is fun. Make it rain. There's, but then you have to literally stop and be like, okay, hold on. That was fun for 30 seconds. Let's get back in the GeoPrism and do it the right way.
Yep.
Nothing against GeoPrism. That was like my favorite car growing up as a kid.
Gas mileage is fantastic.
I had a manual. It was one of the best cars I've ever owned in my life. If I could find it again, I'd probably get it for my kids. I'm like, here, let's put a spoiler on it, and who knows what else.
Heck yeah.
What's your favorite project you've ever worked on? Is there something that stands out when you think like that was just, whether it was hard, but once you got it done, you're like, especially with having people that are artsy, because they're keen to eye the details, probably really on point.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine the conversations you three have.
They're much. I'm a process guy. I'm not artsy at all. I'm like, tell me what you want and let me do it.
Okay.
I can talk about paint all day long, but other than that, I'm kind of an introvert. Like the shirt that Jason Paris has, which is awesome. I got one myself. But
yes.
My favorite project was one that we recently did, and that was a maple kitchen over to Hale Navy. Just from the aesthetic look of it, it was, they called me up. They're like, we want to do this, and I was like, what color? And they said, we're thinking of navy. And just the way that the cabinets were laid out and the kitchen itself, I was like, I'm your guy, 100%. You don't need to call anybody else.
Isn't that such a good feeling?
Dude, I was like, this is awesome. And so that one was great. We did have some issues with it. We had like a foot of snow. And it's like an hour away, dude.
Oh, wow.
But we also had so AccuSpray had a gun that was like the gold standard gun for us, and that was the 10G. And we had something happened with it where it just started skipping, and all of a sudden we've got runs all over the place. So that sucked. But we sanded them down. Client was like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll just, and I see more things than they do, but it turned out really nice. We actually did just win an award for it from APC Magazine.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
I still got thanks, man. I got a post about it. So we got that top job award, which is the second year in a row we've won that. So
oh, nice. And for those that don't know, what is APG?
APC magazine.
APC.
That's American Painting Contractor magazine. I believe it's the oldest painting publication around. It's been like 100 and something years or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and then every year they pick a certain amount of projects to win their top job award.
Like cabinets, I think restoration. I think Nick Slavic has done.
Yeah, Nick got one.
Restoration.
Yeah, he gets it all the time. Nick's awesome. So he won one too. Paul Schmidt from Chicago did a beautiful Victorian. Rick Lazenby, I believe, is on the cover. He's a decorative artist down south.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of really cool projects in there.
Yeah. And you know what I love about everyone you just named? They're doing what you and I are doing now. We're sharing our knowledge.
Exactly.
And it's empowering. It's so, I'm sorry, I'm getting the chills just thinking about it, because this is why I created this, because it's not 10 years ago, this wouldn't have happened at all.
True.
You wouldn't know who Jason Paris is. You wouldn't know who, I call him the Moore guy, but he's up in Washington. He only
Dave Rushing.
Dave Rushing. Love that man. He's hilarious.
Yep.
But he is like, you know when you take your kids to the water park and they have that bucket that fills up that just dumps out? When I think of Dave Rushing, that's what I think, because he just spews this. He gets talking to me sometimes like, whoa, hold on, slow down. That's way too much.
The knowledge. I love social media and the internet because, man, it has helped me immensely improve my craft, to change my business. Dave Rushing, man, he has a fantastic, it's Painting America, I think it is.
Yes, Painting America, yeah.
He has a fantastic, like a giant bread van that's like a mobile shop, dude. And I'm sure you've seen pictures of it, but
yes, I have. Chris,
it's pretty amazing.
Chris in Idaho, he has a truck like that too.
Chris,
or he did. I know.
Barry,
Idaho painter. The Idaho
okay,
painter.
Cool.
He has something like that, and that's transitioning. A lot of guys are going to that because if you can have a mobile shop to do what we're doing, it makes everything like pristine. Yeah. So, and I love it. And if you guys aren't part of APC, email them. It's really easy to do. I appreciate you sharing that. A lot of painters don't know that that's around, and it gives an opportunity to learn, and some of us are goal driven. When you see you guys winning these things, I have this house that we're doing this year that we're entering into it. It's just a disaster. So many issues with the exterior trim, and we're droning the whole thing and incorporating drones into it. And it's a marketing thing for me because I rather spend $400 or $500 on the drone. I don't need to teach my kids. They're video game experts.
I got the same here. Yep.
Yeah. So I told my son, like, hey, you're going to work this summer. He's like, well, why? I said, because I need someone to do my drone and my social media. He's like, I get Instagram. I'm like, no, you don't get it. But as you said, like, I get you've sent me emails and some other people like, hey, thanks for this. And you and I've communicated with things that I've seen you do. The knowledge that we're sharing is so empowering because what we hear a lot nowadays is, oh my gosh, what's the next generation going to be like, with other jobs? And Nick said it best. These millennials value their time, and they really do. So let them work the hours they want to work. They're someday going to learn that a mortgage costs $3,000. Well, in some states, so they're going to come to you and say, Michael, I need 40 hours. Okay, cool. Yep. But they're going to be really good at their craft. So this teaching that we're doing is actually very, very useful for the next generations when, we're 60 years old on a beach watching these guys from my goal is I want to own a pirate ship. My wife laughs at me, but like I just want to own a pirate ship off the coast of South Carolina. Yeah. You'll come up, we'll have a paint party.
I have a ridiculous goal, and that's to ride a polar bear someday. And it's the stupidest goal, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I have a 120-pound dog. I could paint him white.
It's the same, yeah.
I mean, if you've ever seen the video of him jumping around, he kind of is like a polar bear.
I'm about $140, so.
Hey, there you go. Anyone have a polar out there for Michael? Please get in touch with me.
He's the last thing I do, but it'll be all right.
So if you weren't painting, if you were just out and about in Wisconsin, what would we find you doing? Like, what do you like to do in your downtime? Because you have to get your head out of the game. I think that's important. We talked about it before. Leaving the paint world is important because you can't grow. For me, if I'm in the paint game, I get stuck.
So that's something that has been non-existent for me for the last 5 years. I'm just now trying to slow myself down, take a chill pill. I do a lot of reading. I'm a nerd. I read every day.
What would you read? What
So
was the last book you read that you would recommend? Not one that you just read, but like the last one you're like, I think people that are business, is it business related or what kind of books, what
nothing.
kind of
No,
genre?
it's goofy sci-fi fantasy novels. I've
Okay.
read them since I was a kid. It's my escape. So I can just shut my business side of my brain down
Yeah.
and just go into a goofy world of
Do you have a
Patrick.
favorite series?
So the first series that I ever read was The Belgariad by David Eddings, and that is super old. It was the first book that it's like a 5-book series,
Mm-hmm.
but that was the first one that caught me when I was like 8 or 9 years old. So
Nice. Your kids read them?
one of my kids does, yeah. It's
Nice.
exciting because he's reading the Percy Jackson or whatever it is, and so he'll
Yeah.
get talking about Greek mythology, and I'll be like, oh yeah, now we can talk about stuff. Cool.
It's so fun as your kids get to that age. So
It's a
for
trip, man.
me, football, everyone knows I'm a football nerd, but like if I need to shut down completely, and you can laugh at it all you want because my wife makes fun of me all the time. I love wrestling.
That's cool.
I know it's fake,
Yeah, it's okay.
but but I watch like old school like AWA where the territories, if you know wrestling, like where like the Road Wars and Ric Flair and Sting, like when
Jake the
Andre the
Snake.
Giant had an afro. So I'm a nerd out on it. I tweet all these wrestlers. Like my daughter, she's 9. She's the only one that likes wrestling, which is really weird. But I think it's that movement of WWE pushing women to empower themselves, and
That's cool.
it's fun. So you have to slow down though. You really do because, like you said, you did this. You've been doing it for 6 years. You and I've been doing this for full time 3 years
Okay.
consistently. Um, and I think my wife came to me one day and as nice as she could, you got to stop. I don't want to talk painting anymore.
Yeah.
And it was that awakening, like, oh, okay. Then I just built a shop in the garage. So, but it works. Well, Mike, I appreciate it. Is there anything else you'd like to share with anybody? Where can we find you at? Where can we see the work that you're doing so everyone can go and follow you?
We are just Craine Painting LLC. We're on Instagram, Facebook. We're on TikTok too, which is a cool, new app. We have cabinet painting, glazing tutorials, things like that over on YouTube.
All right.
So we're
Do
we're
you
actually.
incorporate your customers with your TikTok?
What do you mean?
Do you tell your so I started this last year and I've
Hmm.
really gotten really good feedback from my customers. So when I get on a job site, I'll tell, Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez, hey, go to my Instagram. I'm an Instagram person. Everyone knows that. And I tell them, hey, go on Instagram and throughout the day you can see videos of your house. And the feedback, and a lot of them don't stay and follow me, but what I've
Sure.
noticed is it brings me business because they're at work. So I say, when you say
That's
TikTok,
a
like
really good point. Yeah.
it's a very unique marketing strategy, but think about it. The Hernandez, both the husband and wife are at their jobs, and they, if they can look at their phone, like, oh, Craine Paintings, oh, he's doing my cabinets. Come here, Susie. Michael, come here, look at this. And then you get like 4 or 5 people on a desk, and they see this. I mean, I know you do a lot of dance videos because I don't. I'm really shy. I would never dance on Instagram, but whatever you're
When did I
doing,
dance?
I don't know.
No,
I'm just
that's
waiting.
a really good point, man, and I will do that from now on
Do it
because
because and put it on your business cards or something. And I when you said TikTok, because I've thought about switching over, I just have way too many apps on my phone.
oh, I hear you. And
But
so you can just do the same thing, so it goes to your Instagram and your Facebook,
yeah,
and it all hooks
exactly.
together.
But it's fun because obviously let's preface this before everyone starts doing it. Be careful with what you say and comment. Let's just meaning I have a house that we're doing. It's a renter, but the homeowner's doing it. The homeowner follows me on Instagram. He's a friend of mine, so I'll release this. And their backyard was just filled with dog crap, like bad. And we had just my new sprayer, my new ladders. I didn't even, and my guys, and we just tracked dog crap everywhere. So I'm like, hey guys, clean up your dog crap. But it's a different way to market your business, and you will you'll get people that are DMing you like, hey Michael, I saw this cabinet you did for the Hernandez's.
Yep.
Can you come give me a bid? So try it out. Let me know how it works because it's worked for me for a year.
Absolutely.
And it's free.
I know. It's a cool thing about all the social media stuff, but I'll see what happens with it. I'm absolutely going to do that. Because I've had people just pull it up during work before, and I never even considered, telling them to do it.
Yeah, and again, I don't. If they stay and follow, great. They stay and follow. If not, and before you do that though, I would caution everyone: ask the homeowner if you can record. It's one of those weird things I do because I've actually had a homeowner say, no, I don't want anyone to know where my house is, which is fine. Not that their face is being seen, but like where we live at, we're in a community, and so if I'm like, hey, I'm at the Hernandez's house today, they may not want to, and it's a respectful thing. So just be respectful on that. Well, Michael, it's been a pleasure. I think we need to do a live video with you teaching the spray techniques because I want to see that blue navy that you're talking about. It's I keep thinking what that's going to look like.
I'll have to post some up. We got some extra other navy product that I have, so
nice.
We got a couple things in the shop. No, definitely do that.
Last thing I want to ask you before I let you, I know you got to run. With your business, when you go do bids, do you take samples? Cabinet people are notorious for this. Do you take samples over?
Yep, every time.
How important is that to your growth of your business? What do you think it shows your homeowners?
I don't know. I've never not taken them. I think maybe the first job is when I didn't take them because I didn't really have any. Morning, Amanda. So yeah, that first job, I have a bag that I take every time. If anything, I need to reduce the amount of samples that I take because I have like 8. And realistically, I think what people are really looking for are, a couple colors. I do like to do a lot of the glazing effects and everything like that too. So I always have a bunch of those samples there as well. But
all right. Well, we'll be looking out for the APC magazine. Hopefully they do a good spread on you. Love to see your work. Thank you so much for your time. I'll let you know your crew's coming in and they're ready to work. So we'll let you get to those cabinets. Thank you so much. Go follow him on Instagram and TikTok. Maybe he'll bust a move. Who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe.
All right. Thank
you.
You
Have a good day.
You
Bye.
too. Peace.